Hello everyone, my name is Firda Aulia binti Muhammad Fabila and my metric number is A222267 and I am from set 17 and this storytelling performance is for LMCR 2282, Building Confidence Through Storytelling. Today, I will be performing the classic fairy tale Little Red Riding Hood. You may notice that I am wearing red today because I want to become Little Red Riding Hood herself and make the story feel more real. So, without further ado, let's begin. Hello, my name is Little Red Riding Hood. Everyone calls me that because I always wear my favorite red cloak that my grandmother made especially for me. I love wearing it because it reminds me of her love and kindness. One beautiful morning, my mother prepared a basket filled with bread, fruit, and medicine for my grandmother, who was feeling unwell. She handed me the basket and said, "Please take this to Grandma." Before I left, she looked at me seriously and said, "Stay on the path and don't talk to stranger." I smiled, confidently replied, "Don't worry, Mom, I'll be careful." Looking back now, I really wish I had listened. As I walked through the forest, everything was so beautiful. The birds were singing, the butterflies were flying around, and the fresh air made me feel happy. Then, all of a sudden, a wolf appeared. At first, I was a little surprised, but he smiled politely and said, "Good morning, little girl." He didn't look scary, so I smiled back. He asked me where I was going, and without thinking, I told him that I was visiting my grandmother who lived at the end of the forest. The wolf smiled and pointed at a field of colorful flowers. He said, "Your grandmother would love these beautiful flowers." I thought that was a wonderful idea, so I stepped off the path and started picking flowers. What I didn't know was that I was busy. The wolf was running as fast as he could to my grandmother's house. After picking the flowers, I happily continued my journey until I finally arrived at my grandmother's cottage. La 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 la. But something happened. Felt strange. The house was very quiet. Usually, Grandma would welcome me with a warm smile, but this time, there was only silence. I slowly walked towards her bedroom. She was lying in bed, but she looked different. I looked at her and said, "Grandmother, what big eyes you have." She replied, "All the better to see you." That sounded a little strange. Then I asked, "Grandmother, what big ears you have?" She answered, "All the better to hear you with." My heart started beating faster. Finally, I asked, "Grandmother, what big teeth you have?" Suddenly, the wolf jumped out of the bed and shouted, "All the better to eat you with." I screamed, "Ah!" dropped my basket, and the bread rolled all over the floor. At that moment, I realized that my mother had been right all along. Just when I thought everything was over, a brave woodcutter heard my scream and rushed into the cottage. He chased that wolf away before anyone was hurt. I quickly hugged my grandmother, and I had never felt so relieved in my life. We were finally safe. As I walked home that evening, I couldn't stop thinking about what had happened. I realized that just because someone looks friendly doesn't mean that can always be trusted. That day taught me a lesson I will never forget. Even though my story happened a long time ago, the lesson is still important today. We may not meet wolf in the forest anymore, but sometimes we meet strangers online or on social media. Just like me, we should always be careful about who we trust. Being kind is important, but being careful is just as important. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope you enjoyed my journey and learned something valuable from it. Thank you. That's all from me. Bye.